So most of the time while surfing the internet, we come across some long news articles or articles to be precise. We want that to be summarized. Or in some scenarios, we have some piece of text or document that we want to be summarized and be concised. So to address this issue, we have trained an NLP model and developed an application. The application is fully fledged with end-to-end implementation using machine learning and natural language processing concepts. The project is titled as Automatic Text Summarization, and the team members are as follows: Parth Mahadik, Kaipu Surya Pratap Reddy, Arjun Tola, Yandalapalli Sri Lakshmi Jaswant, and myself Dhaval. Speaking of the user interface, the user has to provide link of the online article. Our application will extract the content of that website using a web scraping library and pass that data into our NLP model. Then the model summarizes the data for us and then sends it into a Flask server, which in turn displays it on the website. I'll now display the project.
This is the main front end of our project where we can provide two types of inputs. One is a direct text and other is in the form of web URL. In case of URL, the main content from the web page is extracted by parsing the HTML tag and provided as an input for the NLP model. Similar in the case of text input. In case the user provide both the text and the URL, the priority is given over the URL input.
Jaswant,
Basically, our data set consists of two rows. One is of the article and one is of the summary. Basically, we have 98,000 and of iterations of the data set. We are trying to create a link using NLP algorithm. We try to create a link between the words in data and working in the words in summary. The algorithm can understand which words are important, what should be there in the summary, and basically we are showing the algorithm what we expect for each summary for 98 and of iterations, and then give to next iteration. We expect the algorithm create a summary by itself.
So coming on to the architecture of our project. So for this project, we have used the encoder decoder model. So what is the encoder decoder model? Encoder decoder model is a model in which there are two parts, the encoder part and the decoder part. So what the encoder part of the model does is it takes the input as the raw text which is provided, which in this case is the news article which we are scraping from the site, and uh, processes it into a latent vector, which is then passed on to the decoder model, which then further processes the latent vector into uh, a process summary, which is displayed as the output. So for our project, we have used three LSTM layers for encoder model and one for the decoder model. So what is LSTM? LSTM is the long short-term memory, which is a type of RNN or recurrent neural network. So recurrent neural network is a type of neural network in which is used basically for sequential form of data or time series data, in which the input of the next layer is basically dependent on the output of the previous layer. So this is the basic architecture of our project.
moving on, I would like to shed some light on the code of the project, which is we will introduce in brief. This is the code of our project. We start with importing the libraries, as you can see. Then we import the data set. Then we start dropping the duplicate values. Coming to ahead, we have created a contraction mapping. wherein we create a dictionary of all the short form words with their long form words, so that we can analyze the model can analyze them properly. Moving down, we download all the stop words, and then we also use the contraction mapping to remove stop words and or do all the required cleaning of the data. So this is how we get the final clean data. Then moving forward, we apply the same to the summary. Moving ahead, we do all the basic data processing that is always in the standard protocol, like dropping the empty columns and stuff like that. This is basically how our data, other bifurcation or the distribution of our data. This basically helps us to get how what values we should put in our model, so that we can get good results. Basically, this is how we analyze it. Moving ahead, moving ahead we do some more data processing, and then we split our model into train and testing data set. Then we apply machine learning, sorry, NLP techniques, like dividing the model into different tokens and stuff like that. Then moving ahead, we actually the remaining code is basically that we apply it to the data set also, and the testing data set, like the summary also. So it is like that. Then moving on, this is the main model that we have worked upon. So basically, encoder starts from here. We put inputs for encoders, then we put in through embedding layers. We add three stacked LSTM layers. After that, after the LSTM layers, this is where the decoder starts. We put on decoding layer, and then we add embedding layer like we did before, and then we use one LSTM layer to get a proper output. Moving ahead, we put a time distribution for getting better results. Then moving ahead, this is how our model basically looks like: input, embedding, three LSTM layers, and again embedding and output layers. This is the training of our model. Moving ahead, this is the data post processing, as we can say. And uh, these are the results, the main thing, the summary and the predicted summary. This is basically the results for first 50 or 100 iterations, and this should be the result for further. So thank you for your attention. I guess that is all. We This is a project that in which we summarized the text using URLs and directly pasting the text, and we hope that we can do better things using what we have studied.